The Nightbeat starts right now.
Horrific scene, horrific for the people that experience this, and again, horrific for our firefighters.
He and his wife were walking down a sidewalk. Moments later, an 81-year-old man killed in a gruesome attack, and firefighters say a pack of dogs killed him. And neighbors tell us this is not the first incident for these dogs in this neighborhood. That story coming up. But first,
a community tonight united in grief after 3 lives were lost in a trailer home fire in Von Ormy. Tonight, that community came together to remember those who were lost. You can see the large group of people there to support the family members of those victims. 39-year-old Vanessa Ortega and her 2 grandchildren, 3-year-old Mia and 1-year-old Ezekiel, died Sunday morning in that fire, and their family will never be the same.
It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. This is a new journey for them, and we need to pray for this family.
Now, right now, crews are still trying to figure out what sparked that deadly fire. Now, back to our top story. New details and new video tonight of the dogs that were involved in a deadly mauling on the west side. Tonight, a new neighbor is coming forward saying that they also witnessed the dogs attack a different victim. This was back in July.
Yeah, they want answers on why those dogs were initially taken from their owner, then returned despite multiple complaints of bites. The Night Team's Patty Santos breaks down today's big story.
The man's walking and the dogs just come from behind and they're running, and they just attack him.
Deborah Flores says this surveillance video is from January. Flores says that's her and her son trying to scare away the pack of dogs attacking that man.
My son heard him and he got his Orby gun and started shooting the dogs to go away, and it worked, but luckily the man just got a bit on his leg.
Flores says it is the same group of dogs that mauled an 81-year-old man. Animal Care Services says 2 of the dogs in today's attack bit someone earlier this year, but ACS has not confirmed if this video is of that January incident. Tonight, Flores is demanding accountability from the owners.
Take responsibility. Your dogs killed somebody.
Investigators say the elderly man was able to protect his wife, who was taken to the hospital with injuries. They say the dog also bit a firefighter on the foot and a Good Samaritan in the hand.
Firefighters were very heroic in this instance, fighting off these pit bulls with pickaxes and pike poles to try to get to the patients.
3 pit bulls were taken away from this home on Depla Street near Couples after the attack. All 3 dogs will be euthanized tonight.
En el 2021 mordió a mi hijo.
Sylvia Avila says the dogs have a history of biting multiple people around the neighborhood, including her own son on his property.
Nadie ha hecho nada. Yo me encargo de hacer los follow-ups. Nadie ha hecho nada. Todo el neighborhood está espantado.
She says efforts to get officials to do something have been ignored. ACS is leading the investigation with the help of SAPD. They report multiple contacts with the dog owners.
By state law, unless there is an affidavit or a severe bodily injury case or something like that, again, those bites were mild. So those animals finished their state-required quarantine, and the owner paid reclaim fees, and by state law, we were required to return those animals.
The city says it's providing counseling to the residents who witnessed the tragic scene and first responders.
Seeing as far as how they battle these dogs, a couple of firefighters are emotionally probably scarred from this.
And tonight, police tell us there are multiple charges pending in connection with this case. I also got a chance to talk to a woman who tells me she knows the couple. She tells me they were there to visit her mother and they were returning back to their car when they were attacked. Steve, Stephanie.
Thank you, Patty. Still so many questions about this case. Now, ACS, Animal Care Services, confirmed 3 calls for service involving at least 2 of the dogs. That includes 2 confirmed bite cases in September of 2021 and January of this year. ACS says both incidents involved mild or moderate injuries. The dogs also completed a state-required quarantine before being returned to their owners.
Now, ACS says that the people involved declined to file a dangerous dog designation, which would have placed more restrictions on the owners. SAPD also spoke with the owners while responding to a dog-related call in November of last year. ACS says the owners were told the dogs have to be kept in the yard. The city of San Antonio is now investigating whether the dogs were involved in any additional calls to 911 or 311.
Obviously, this is a story we're going to continue to follow. It happened 5 years ago. Today, San Antonio police are still looking for clues in the death of San Antonio rapper Christopher Polk. Polk shot and killed while he was driving on February 24th, 2018. He just left the Ice Lounge at Evers Road and Loop 410. San Antonio police releasing this video, hoping it will help them lead them to suspects. Officers are looking for two vehicles, a silver SUV, a black sedan. They say the drivers of those vehicles drove up next to Polk's car, started shooting. Polk died at the scene. If you know anything that can help police, you're asked to call the number on your screen, 210-207-7635.
Tonight, a former San Antonio police officer who was charged after shooting a teenager in a McDonald's parking lot was in court this morning. This hearing was James Brennan's first initial court setting. His attorney, Nicola Hood, and Assistant District Attorney Daryl Harris spoke briefly about the case and the evidence. Now, you may remember that police arrested Brennan last October, less than 2 weeks after he shot 17-year-old Eric Cantu multiple times and fired toward another teenage passenger while they were inside a car outside of a McDonald's. The passenger wasn't hurt, but Cantu did spend weeks on life support.
A local school district asking parents to remind their children of the consequences of taking a gun to school. That's after a gun was found, apparently in the bag of a Roosevelt High School student earlier today. Now, we want to be clear, there was no shooting and no one was hurt today. But in a letter to parents, NEISD stated that the student did not make any threats, but still weapons are not allowed on school campuses. That student was arrested. And it's a parent's worst nightmare. Police in San Marcos say a student hit and killed in the parking lot of a middle school there. It happened during drop-off at Goodnight Middle School about 8:30 this morning. The 11-year-old student hit in the drop-off lane on campus. The driver's not being charged. School was canceled there for the day.
A death penalty is on the table for the man accused of killing a 7-year-old girl. Tanner Lynn Horner is accused of kidnapping and strangling Athena Strand last December. At the time, he had been working at as a FedEx driver. Authorities say that he told them he accidentally hit Strand with his vehicle while he was making deliveries. Police say that Horner then killed her because he was afraid that she was going to tell her father that she got hit by the truck. If he's convicted, the district attorney says that he could get the death penalty. By the way, Horner's also in jail on bond for 2 counts of sexual assault on a child in an unrelated incident.
Let's go to the Nightbeat News Flash now. New developments in a fatal shooting at a Walmart. The man San Antonio police officers found dead has been identified as Joe Romero Bonilla. He was 19. His body found Tuesday night in a parking lot of the Walmart on Southeast Military Drive near I-37. Police are not sure who shot him or why. Investigators hope surveillance cameras will help figure it all out. Still lots of questions after an early morning fire at a pawn shop, or what was a pawn shop. Take a look at this video. This was the scene about 2:15 this morning at the Easy Pawn on Goliad Road near Southeast Military Drive. Crews had some trouble getting inside, but they were eventually able to get inside and knock those flames down. And while there were no reports of injuries, that building completely destroyed. Right now, crews are still trying to find out what sparked the flames. Devastation thousands of miles away is being felt right here in our community. We're talking about those deadly earthquakes that happened just days ago in Turkey and Syria.
As the night team's John Paul Barajas explains, you now have a chance to help the victims.
We had 3 families who lost their close relatives in the earthquake.
Those families call San Antonio home, and they're part of the city's Turkish community.
One of my friend's wife, she was devastated when she heard 5 of her family members were dead on that day.
Now those touched by the loss are doing what they can to help. Dr. Ferhat Öztürk is with the Raindrop Foundation. The nonprofit is also behind Saturday's Turkish food fair. Profits will go to those victims with a direct connection to San Antonio.
Our Turkish food fairs has a very rich menu. So we have we have food for the entry level, and we have food for main dishes. I also like the gyro because the gyro in here is very different from the gyros in the restaurants. It's mostly handmade.
Donations can also be made online, but Öztürk says attending the event in person will help the community in more ways than one.
Relieve their sorrows, because probably some of the families who lost relatives, they will be here as well.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
So the Turkish Food Fair is happening tomorrow outside the Raindrop Foundation's building. It's on Vance Jackson near Loop 410. It's going to stay open from noon until 4 o'clock. By the way, it's free to get in, but you have to buy tickets in order to try the food.
It was nearly a year ago that a local cheesecake shop was inundated with support for its mission to help people and help fight for Ukraine.
And this weekend, Like a Cheesecake on Broadway is doing it again. So we want to show you what it looked like last year there. Yeah, lots of people stood in line for hours in some cases just to support them. And now the business is holding a 1 year of war fundraiser. And all of the money that it makes is going to go straight to the Ukrainian military.
I'm told the cheesecakes are very good, too.
Yes.
Like a Cheesecake, located along Broadway, not far from Hildebrand, kind of right across the street from Incarnate Word. They're closed for the night, but the fundraiser is going on through tomorrow. Ahead on the Nightbeat, are you an American Idol fan? San Antonio will be represented in this week's episode. We've got a preview for you.
Also just ahead, potentially life-saving advice, what so many people stopped doing during the pandemic that puts their health at risk.
Cancer continues to be the second most common cause of death in the U.S., only behind heart disease. Routine screenings are critical for helping to catch cancer before it advances. But a new study found millions of people skipped those checkups during the second year of the pandemic.
After sharp declines in cancer screenings during the first year of the pandemic, researchers set out to study the next year, hoping to find screening rates had returned back to normal.
We did not see that to be the case. We continued to see declines.
Jessica Starr, a lead author of a new study by the American Cancer Society. The research shows in 2021, screenings for breast cancer fell 6% when compared to 2019 before the pandemic, which means about 1 million fewer people were screened for the disease. Screenings for cervical cancer fell 15%. That's about 4.4 million fewer people. And for prostate cancer, screenings fell 10%, about 700,000 fewer people. Those declines especially sharp in Asian communities.
This was especially concerning considering that non-Hispanic Asian persons tend to have high cancer mortality and are less likely to be screened.
The research shows the rate of colorectal cancer screening stayed the same in 2021 as compared to those pre-pandemic levels.
This can be associated with an increase in stool testing, which is home-based, that offset a decline in colonoscopy testing.
Screenings can help catch cancer early, increasing your odds of survival. At this point, though, it's unclear the effect missing screenings will have on separate research suggesting that screening rates return to normal in 2022. And health experts urge anyone who missed a routine cancer screening should catch up now.
That was Ursula Perry reporting. The most recent research suggests no sign of a major rise in advanced cancers due to missed screenings, but health experts caution that it may be too soon to tell.
All right, when you watch American Idol this weekend, you are going to see someone familiar, and that someone is 25-year-old Cody Winkler. He graduated from Clemens High School in Schertz. He says that he actually didn't start singing publicly until just about 2 years ago. Before that, Winkler says that he would sing to himself while working on a ranch and that he'd, listen to this, serenade the cows.
Nice.
Yes. So these days, he performs around Texas and lately for the American Idol judges.
I walked in the room and I was mesmerized. My mind went blank and I didn't know what to do. But the second I walked in the room, I just went in there like I owned the stage and just did my thing, what I've been doing for the past 2 years, and it just comes natural.
I will say I haven't heard Cody sing, but he does have a nice voice. His audition airs this Sunday at 7 p.m. on American Idol, and you could watch it right here on KSAT 12.
Yeah. Maybe the cows will tune in as well to see their favorite singer. All right, it is 55 degrees outside right now, and the cooler weather's great. We could use some rain, though, Mia.
Yeah, we certainly could. And we do have some chances for some drizzle this weekend. It's not going to be overly significant or really substantial, but wouldn't hurt to maybe keep the umbrella around, especially both tomorrow and into Sunday morning. So before we can get there, today was a lot different than what we saw the past couple of days. You liked that spring-like feel. This past week, for the most part, has been for you. But if you liked more of that winter-like feel, today was definitely one of those days. We had a 17-degree difference in our afternoon highs yesterday compared to today. It topped off at about 63 degrees. Now, yes, those temperatures have cooled down into the 50s. Big three things that you need to know heading into the upcoming weekend, planning out whatever you're going to do. Morning drizzle and patchy fog certainly possible both tomorrow and into Sunday. A warming trend is going to take back over, though. Tomorrow, daytime highs approaching the 70-degree mark. Tomorrow into our Sunday, we're then approaching the 80-degree mark. And that's also when we're going to notice more of a healthy south wind kick back on with some wind gusts upwards of about 30 miles per hour. But yes, we start off with that patchy drizzle possibility. Not a whole lot going on out there on the radar right now, maybe a few sprinkles, but I do think, especially as we head into the early morning hours of our Saturday, that's when we could find some of that patchy drizzle develop. So again, wouldn't hurt to maybe have the rain gear at least in the car if you are planning on stepping out tomorrow and into Sunday mornings. Temperature wise for early Saturday, we'll start off near around 50 here in San Antonio. Some upper 40s certainly possible, especially just to the north of Bexar County. 46 in Bernie, stretching over to Bulverde. 50 in Floresville, 53 in Pleasanton. Overall, we are expecting more of the cloud cover in store this weekend as well. But I do think tomorrow afternoon we could find a few breaks in some of that cloud cover, helping those temperatures warm around 67 by 3 p.m. overall. Those daytime highs here around San Antonio, upper 60s and low 70s for the first half of the weekend. But into Sunday, as we start to see more of that humidity work its way back into the San Antonio area, those temperatures will continue to be on that upward trend. We're starting off near about 60 Sunday morning, around 80 for those Sunday afternoon highs. Again, some additional areas of patchy fog and drizzle possible in the mornings, but then that breaks up once we do see that gusty south wind kick on. Into Monday, still looking to be pretty breezy out there. Some wind gusts upwards of about 25 miles per hour. But what we're looking to find is a weak boundary that's going to move in. That could spark just a very stray shower. Overall, though, hopes are looking pretty low here in and around south central Texas. I'll show you why there's an area of low pressure out in the Pacific, sparking some widespread rain across portions of California here tonight. What that's going to do over the next few days is track farther off to the east, and especially as we head into the early morning hours of our Monday, notice the energy is farther up to our north, but still maybe an isolated, very stray shower possible generally before the sun comes up. And then once we do see the sun come up, plenty of it is in store Monday and into Tuesday. Overall temperature is still going to be on that upward trend. We're nearing 86 degrees by the middle of next week, and then maybe a few isolated showers possible to a stray thunderstorm with our next front that could impact temperatures a little bit more Thursday and into Thursday night, guys.
So don't get used to what we had today and tomorrow.
Right, because yeah, we're going to continue to see those temperatures just climb back into that spring-like feel next week.
Thank you, Mia.
All right, thank you. All right, boys high school basketball.
Yep, it's the playoffs. We are in the area round, and tonight we're going to start off with Bernie Champion, who advanced to the 5A state semis last season. They faced Harlandale tonight. And in women's college basketball, the Trinity Tigers are the top seed at the SCAC tournament coming up.
The bow tie was when I was a player, and now as a coach, I've evolved into the necktie.
Now that he's a head football coach, Nate Leonard is ditching the bow tie. Say it isn't so in big board sports. The area round of the boys high school basketball playoffs tipped off tonight at Paul Taylor Field House. Defending Class 5A regional champs Bernie Champion playing Harlandale mid-second quarter. Chargers in control. Charlie Georgiles finds Braden Baum cutting baseline two-handed jam. Champion leads 28-15. Indians answer back. Saxon Langenberg knifes his way to the bucket for the land to pull them back within single digits, but the Chargers pull away first. Kick out to Quinn Grable, and he knocks down a three for a 14-point lead. Then Georgiles powers his way to the bucket, counted and won. The Chargers win at 60-41.
We're It's looking pretty good right now since next round is a big round for us. You know, we either got Alamo Heights or Wagner. But being area championships, that's a big one for us.
We're super excited. We want to repeat what we did last year. Obviously, it's going to be difficult, but you know that's our goal. But we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to putting on the hard work.
Chargers now face the winner of this matchup, Alamo Heights and Wagner at the Alamo Convocation Center. Tight game, second quarter. Devontae Durst makes the pull-up J to give the Thunderbirds a 17-13 lead. Mules respond. Hayes Waddy hauls in the rebound and gets the putback to fall, plus the foul, and it's just a 2-point game. Wagner finds separation late in the frame thanks to Giovanni Whitaker. He drains a triple, kick-starting a personal 5-0 run, but the Mules win 44-31. Next on the court, Veterans Memorial versus Sam Houston. Hurricanes up midway, second quarter. Calvin Griffin drives right to the rim for the lane and a 4-point lead. But the Patriots respond first. Tyler Agia gets a clean look for a corner three. That cuts the lead to one. The next possession, Tyler Cook forces a steal and finishes with a two-handed jam, forcing a Sam Houston timeout. Patriots go on to win a close one, 53-46. In girls basketball, the Class 4A number 18 ranked Bishop Lady Badgers played number 4 Bernie Greyhounds. Second quarter, Bernie goes on a run, starting with Jamie Rude. The senior drives baseline for an easy 2 points. Later on, it is Splash City. Chloe Donald from downtown is good. A few buckets later, Abigail Smith from up top drains the triple. The Greyhounds lead 23-13, and they win at Texas A&M Kingsville by a final of 51-19. New Braunfels Canyon offensive coordinator Nate Leonard was promoted to athletic coordinator and head football coach. Leonard takes over for Travis Bush, who left to start the new football program at the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. After calling the Cougs offensive plays the past 2 seasons, Leonard will now oversee the entire football program.
It's so exciting. I mean, this is honestly a dream come true. You know, I've always thought about what this role would be like and where it would be. I couldn't be more excited that it's here at Canyon. Very high expectations of our team. You know, I know as a first-year head coach or as a new head coach, there's a lot for me still to learn, but I'm looking forward to those challenges and growing with this community to reach the top level that we can.
Leonard played center for UTSA from 2011, 2014, and is a member of the Roadrunners' original 18. In women's college basketball, Trinity will begin SCAC tournament play tomorrow afternoon. The Tigers received a bye as the top seed and the 2023 Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference regular season champs. The Tigers finished the regular season 24-1 overall, 15-1 in conference play, and the number 1 seed is ready to go.
When we were ranked number 1 in the country, there definitely came some pressure. Obviously, we dropped one, and part of it, you have to wonder if it's, you know, just that ranking's kind of heavy. So I think we like where we're at right now. We feel a little like we got that loss behind us, and now we're ready to win out.
In reality, rankings don't really matter. You have to win the games or else you lose the games. It doesn't matter if you're number 1 or you're the worst team in the country. Winning's winning.
There'll only be one number 1 team, and it won't happen until the end of the tournament, and that's kind of how we see it. So it's nice recognition, and it's nice to have put yourself in a position to be ranked, but we just want to win tomorrow.
Coach always wearing that Giants cap. The Tigers will play Texas Lutheran at noon tomorrow in semifinal number 1 at Trinity, and one bull really wanted no part of riding tonight after the break. Let's rodeo San Antonio. Bull riding tonight. Here's Kobe Radley on Red Light Special. And check it out. This bull is all about stopping and taking the red light literal. He just laid down in the chute on the first 2 attempts. He bucked Radley off the 3rd time. Here's Clayton Savage on Smoking Again, and this bull bucks the cowboy off while inside the chute. These bulls not messing around tonight. Look at that, holding on. Wow. We have 3 qualifying rides. This one was the best one. Stetson Wright dancing with I'm a Savage, and Wright goes all 8 seconds for an 86.5. He's your winner.
Wow.
Persistence pays off. Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back. Before we go, let's get to some breaking news. San Antonio police are saying that one of the dog owners in today's deadly incident has been arrested. This is in reference to the attack that took place this afternoon that killed an 81-year-old man.
Yeah, and critically injured his wife. By the way, San Antonio police confirming one of the dog's owners have been arrested. Their identity and their charges have not been released. Obviously, this is something we're going to continue to follow. The very latest on GMSA at 4:30.
Have a good weekend.